ChatGPT. Imagine a world where every second counts, where entire industries, friendships, economies, and even emotions are bound by the invisible threads of the internet. Now imagine this. One day, without warning, those threads snap, and for exactly 1 minute, the entire internet around the globe vanishes. No websites, no apps, no emails, no cloud, no online banking, no streaming, not even a single meme. Just silence. At first, that 1 minute might not seem so bad. After all, it takes longer than that to microwave popcorn. But when we dig deeper, we discover that those 60 seconds without the internet would unleash chaos, confusion, and consequences far stranger than you might expect. Picture yourself scrolling through your phone, maybe watching a funny video, chatting with friends, or checking directions, and suddenly everything freezes. Not like bad Wi-Fi or lagging service, but an absolute void. The circle just spins, the page never loads, and there is nothing you can do. Multiply this by billions of people, and humanity instantly becomes aware that something unusual has happened. In financial districts around the world, stock trading algorithms running thousands of transactions per second slam into a wall of nothingness. The markets don't just pause, they stutter, hiccup, and in some cases crash. Traders panic, staring at frozen screens worth billions, while in that single minute of silence, the volatility of entire economies hangs in limbo. Flights midair rely on constant data transfers between satellites, towers, and control systems. Pilots trained for emergencies would need to rely on old-school radios and instruments, but with a sudden blackout, information would vanish, forcing them to adapt within seconds. Self-driving cars, guided by real-time updates and navigation data, would suddenly be stripped of their digital senses. For exactly 1 minute, they would be blind, swerving, or halting abruptly, causing chaos on the roads. Hospitals that depend on cloud-stored patient records and smart devices would see monitors glitch, robotic surgery assistants pause, and data feeds vanish. Doctors, nurses, and staff will be forced back to raw instinct and memory. For most patients, nothing life-threatening might happen in 60 seconds, but for some, that single frozen minute could mean the difference between life and death. On a personal level, billions of people would feel an immediate, gut-level confusion. Phones wouldn't work. Social media would evaporate. That voice message you were about to send, gone. The video call with your loved one, cut mid-sentence. Online gamers would be yanked out of their matches, victory stolen by a vanishing connection. Streamers would freeze mid-frame, leaving audiences staring at still images of half-smiles and glitchy laughter. You might think a single minute wouldn't matter in politics, but think again. Governments rely on secure internet channels to communicate instantly across the world. Military systems run on timing down to the millisecond. A 1-minute disappearance could create paranoia. Was it an attack? A glitch? A signal? Leaders in war rooms might panic, orders could be misheard, and entire nations could teeter on the edge of catastrophic decisions, all in 60 heartbeats. Banks would freeze. Credit card transactions would decline mid-purchase. ATMs would lock up. In that minute, cash might suddenly seem more valuable than digital money. Online businesses would lose millions in transactions that were interrupted. And when the minute ended, lawyers, insurers, and companies would argue endlessly about who was responsible for the chaos caused by those 60 seconds of emptiness. But let's turn to the strangest and perhaps most fascinating part, the people themselves. For that 1 minute, the digital noise of humanity, the memes, the tweets, the posts, the endless scroll, vanishes. People in cafes lift their heads from screens and actually look around. Commuters on subways stare blankly at each other when Spotify or TikTok dies. Families at home wonder why Netflix suddenly blinked out. Neighbors outside might laugh nervously, realizing everyone's connection vanished together. It's a forced pause, an involuntary breath, a shared moment where humanity is thrown back into a slower, quieter rhythm. But it wouldn't stay peaceful. As soon as the internet roars back to life, confusion would explode into panic. News headlines would scream, "Global internet down for 60 seconds." Conspiracy theories would spiral. Was it aliens? Government test? A hacker collective? Social feeds would overflow with millions of posts, videos, and frantic explanations. Everyone would want to be the first to tell the story of where they were when the world went offline. Ironically, the return of the internet would generate more chaos than its disappearance. Servers overloaded by billions logging back in at once might crash again. Backup systems might fail under the sudden flood. Cybersecurity experts would scramble, suspecting attacks, while average users would flood their friends with messages like, "Did you lose connection to?" Economists would calculate the cost. Billions lost in trades, transactions, ads, and productivity, all vanishing in the digital void of 60 seconds. Psychologists would study the event as a rare moment where the modern mind faced digital silence, a reminder of how fragile our constant connectivity really is. Scientists would analyze whether such a phenomenon could happen again. Was it a technical flaw, a cosmic event, or some strange ripple in digital reality? And storytellers, well, they would immortalize the minute as the day humanity looked up from its screens, only to rush back harder than ever before. The longer-term consequences would be even stranger. Tech companies would push for minute-proof systems, technologies that could survive even a global outage. Governments might fund new layers of infrastructure to protect against another universal silence. Some people, though, would find themselves haunted by those 60 seconds. The odd quiet, the strange relief, the unsettling feeling of being unplugged, forced to exist without the digital pulse. They might begin to wonder, if 60 seconds can feel so shocking, what would an hour be like? A day? A week? Could society survive without its endless connection? Or have we already passed the point of no return? In the end, if the internet disappeared for exactly 1 minute, the world wouldn't end. Planes wouldn't fall from the sky, economies wouldn't collapse forever, and humanity wouldn't vanish. But it would be a reminder of just how entangled we are in this web we've spun, how every breath of our modern life is synced to the rhythm of invisible data. A reminder that something as simple as 60 seconds of silence can shake the entire planet awake, even if only for a brief, fleeting moment, before the screens light up again and the world scrolls forward.